Joe Truzman is still with me, senior research analyst at the Foundation for Defense for Democracies. Joe, we are now seeing this is the beginning of the second term of Donald Trump, president-elect at the moment. The world was watching, what he was doing. We did see some of the statements coming in where he said that Canada should now become part of the United States of America. With regards to those statements, the entire world was very keenly looking at what will happen next. But with this news coming in, it seems like Donald Trump is all set to start his second term on a good note.
Correct. I think you're absolutely right. This is probably one of the best steps he could have made, even before he has taken office. We have to give President Biden some credit here, at least. He did support Israel at the beginning of the war. However, as the war went on, there was a lot of problems between Israel and the Biden administration, withholding bombs, for example, from the Israelis. And that was a big issue. And Hamas leveraged that against Israel. So there was quite a few problems. But nevertheless, there's some credit due to for the Biden administration here. But I think at the end of the day, it was Trump's warning that the hostages should be returned before his inauguration. I think that compelled Hamas, compelled the nation states that back Hamas and support it to get a ceasefire deal done here. And again, I think this is Trump's a really good step or a really good start for the Trump administration that will be starting in the next few days.
Joe, do you think it will be easier? Because we understand there will be three phases. See, I think the easiest will be phase one. Phase 2 and Phase 3. Phase 3, when the temporary ceasefire becomes permanent. Do you think it will be difficult?
We have to understand something. I think what gets missed or what gets overlooked here is that Israel is dealing with legitimate terrorist organizations. So it's not only Hamas in the Gaza Strip. There are other terrorist organizations that are aligned with Hamas, that support Hamas. Some of them have the hostages that have been keeping the hostages in captivity these last 15 months or so. So nevertheless, I think the big thing here for the ceasefire deal to be stable and for it to go through is for both sides to adhere to the rules. But then again, this is a terrorist organization that Israel is dealing with. So things may change after the first deal. If Hamas gets nervous, all right, if they feel that that Israel may threaten them, they may do something to derail this peace deal, or rather the ceasefire deal. So again, I'm very cautious about it. We're dealing with a terrorist organization here. So hopefully everything goes through. But again, I'd be very cautious about these next phases.
Right. So, what the word at the moment is that one needs to be cautious about how the three phases will pan out. Joe, please stay on with me. We've got some more breaking news coming in with regards to this ceasefire. World leaders are now hailing the truce between Israel and Hamas. Barack Obama has said the ceasefire deal is a big relief for all the hostages. No relief can ease the pain, but at least this will end the bloodshed. United Nations General Secretary has also welcomed the hostage release deal. So it's the world which is now hailing this deal, which is coming after 15 months of war that we have seen taking place. World leaders are hailing the truce between Israel and Hamas. The former President of the United States of America, Barack Obama, is saying the ceasefire deal is a big relief for all the hostages. No relief can ease the pain that the family members have gone through, but at least this will end the bloodshed. United Nations Secretary General has also welcomed the hostage release deal. Joe is still with me. Joe, we are now seeing, the former president also now saying that at least for the time being, it seems like there will be easing of the pain. And this is what everyone is now very keenly looking at. Phase 1 has to be done. And as you were rightly pointing out, there are chances that if Hamas thinks that this is not going the way they had expected it to go, still, till the time we see it on the paper, till the time we actually see it happening, I think everyone will be fingers crossed.
Exactly. And it brings up another point. that we have to remember that, at least I want to bring up, is that Hamas's priority throughout this war, from the beginning up to the ceasefire, was that they wanted to ensure that they would survive the war. So their priority wasn't the Palestinian people, it was their survivability. Their goal here is to continue governing, continue ruling the Gaza Strip. So I think the way they see things right now, that there's an opportunity for them to continue ruling the Gaza Strip. However, if they feel that that is in danger, they may thwart this ceasefire. It's definitely a possibility. Again, this is a terrorist organization. Terrorist organizations don't play by rules. So again, a lot of cautious optimism here. We have to be careful over the next weeks.
But Joe, we have also seen how Qatar also was trying to make sure that there was truce of some kind. So it's not just the United States of America that we were saying that was actually pushing, and other countries that were actually pushing. We also saw how, at various points of time, Qatar also came to the front and said that at the moment, the best thing that can happen is a ceasefire.
Correct. But we have to also remember that Qatar is one of the main backers of Hamas. Qatar has been funneling, or rather, been sending money to Hamas for many years now and supporting the organization. The way I see it is that Qatar wants to see Hamas ruling the Gaza Strip once again. So yes, they did help in the ceasefire. They acted as mediators, but I think their interest was aligned with what Hamas wanted. And at the end of the day, that Hamas is to continue ruling the Gaza Strip after the ceasefire or permanent hostilities begin. So I think again, Qatar. At the end of the day, what they want is Hamas to continue ruling the Gaza Strip.
Joe, what's your assessment of how these things will pan out over the next few days?
Right. This is very difficult. Again, as I said earlier, we're dealing with not only one terrorist organization in the Gaza Strip, we're dealing with multiple terrorist organizations. So there's a lot of moving parts here, a lot of actors involved. However, I think as far as what the Israelis want, I think they want all the hostages back. So I believe the Israelis will adhere to the rules here, adhere to the agreement of the ceasefire. Now, as far as Hamas is concerned and the other organizations armed organizations that back it in the Gaza Strip, I think they have been degraded significantly militarily. They are not eliminated or eradicated. All right. So they will be able to regenerate if there is a permanent ceasefire. So I think right now it is in their best interest, at least today, to go through with the ceasefire and adhere to it. So again, I use that word, caution optimism, rather to be cautious about this ceasefire. But right now, while we talk, I do believe that both sides will adhere to the rules of this ceasefire. But again, there's many days ahead of us, so we'll see what happens.